What's poppin', gamers? Welcome back to the 6th iteration of the Nifty Cauldron podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kelly. What's good? And this is my co-host and bestie,
Milan. It me. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? What's your week been like?
What's your week been like? It's going good. A little bit up and down as far as sleep goes, because the Monster Hunter beckoned and I couldn't resist its allure. But other than that, it's been going. What about you?
It's been good. I had my day job. We had a very long, extensive virtual event where I worked very long hours and I worked 10 days back to back. So I am feeling quite exhausted, but still managed to do some of the streams. I did cancel one night of stream and it made me feel bad. Like, do you feel bad when like you have to not stream or something? Like, I don't know. When circumstances arise, there's always going to be that time where you're just unable to, unfortunately stream just because, something happened, etc. Or like you're having technical difficulties, your internet's out. All of a sudden, like AT&T decided to just grab their ankles and rip a fat shit into your fucking router. Like, who fucking knows? But there are times where, you gotta fucking cancel stream. And like for me personally, feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Yeah. Knock on wood, I haven't had to cancel any streams yet. I've had to call like some of them early. I mean, I say early, like maybe like half an hour earlier than usual. But sooner or later, I know I'm gonna get sick. And when I get sick, I'm like bedridden for like a week or two. So I don't think I'll be streaming much during that time. And I already know I'm going to feel bad, not just because I'm not there for the people who want to watch me, but and I think this is probably a big reason for you is you've just gotten into the rhythm of it, right? You've been doing it for a couple months. It's kind of like not to the extent, but you kind of plan your life around it nowadays, right? Like you already know these are my streaming days. I have to get this done in between, etc., etc. So yeah, like it definitely sucks. I funny story, not funny, but my Wednesday stream, I was fearing I had to cancel it. What happened is I was just playing Monster Hunter, like it was maybe an hour into stream, and then Monster Hunter just crashed. And then my OBS crashed right after it. Like no error message, no nothing. It just went bloop, and they both just went away, and my stream went offline. I was like, oh no, like maybe my GPU is being too taxed. My PC has been on a lot lately, and it's been doing like a lot of things in terms of processing and editing. But ultimately, it was I had too many Chrome tabs open at the same time while streaming Monster Hunter, and I had like 40 tabs open.
I was about to say, how many fucking tabs you have open? Goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, normally I close everything, but I was doing some research to get the subtitles back for the podcast, which fingers crossed. But because I don't want to like fuck up my YouTube algorithm and stuff like that, I always do that shit in incognito mode. So that way it's just a clean thing and it doesn't like affect my suggested recommended videos. But because it's in incognito, I can't just willy-nilly close it because I have to be able to find it back again. So until I figure it out, they have to stay open. But after that, the stream just worked fine. It was just a one-time crash and I don't know, just fixed itself. But it was definitely like a Monka moment,
Shit. I mean, yeah, there was this one time where I was streaming we were here together, which is not a very intensive game, but for some fucking reason, like my computer was just not fucking handling it. I was dropping frames left and right, and it was just fucking weird. And to this day, I still don't know why, because I actually went back and streamed that game later and it was perfectly fine. So, no idea what the fuck happened to it, but I didn't end up canceling that stream. I think we ended up like just switching to a different game regardless. But yeah, whenever I have to cancel a night of streaming, like it really like deeply kind of upsets me, man. Like I feel bad. I feel like I'm letting down the team, like
Yeah.
we're in a like a shitty kickball tournament, and I'm like the one kid that fucked up, and so now we don't get to go to the fucking championship ice cream social.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it like that because you don't fuck up, right? I think you also just inherently feel bad because you enjoy streaming, right? It's fun. So not only are you potentially letting down people who were counting to watch you tonight, like maybe that was their entire plan, right? Like you never know. You know, like maybe they're like, okay, well, you know, it's stream day. I'm gonna watch Kelly for tonight for 4 hours, and then I'm gonna go to bed. And then Kelly's not there. It's like, well, what do I do now? Do I just browse random streamers, etc., etc.? So, but it's also at the same time takes away your enjoyment, right? Like your fun and joy that you've been doing for months now. You know, so it's kind of like, well, what do I do instead? I mean, because something else came up, right? And it's 9 out of 10 times something that came up is not something you enjoyed doing.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's like I got off work like really late, and it kind of sucked because it was the Friday night stream, and usually my Friday night stream is like my fun stream. I kick back, I have some, you know, a glass of some adult libation, and I enjoy it, and I play it on stream with my friends, and like we hang out. And it ended up being like a Friday night stream. Yeah, that made me fucking feel pretty bad, Scoop. But I ended up just doing some homework and then going to going to a stream that I would have missed because I would have been streaming. So, and you know, I was able to catch Chris's stream where she was playing like Super Bunny Men or something like that. It was like a very funny game with like wacky physics where they would like try to tumble over each other while getting a carrot, but then they'd have to dodge like spikes. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, she mentioned it in a podcast actually. Like we talked briefly upon it that she wanted to play it. And I was like, oh, I remember that game.
Yeah, she finally played it.
But so, how do you feel? Because I don't know how big into Twitch you were before you started streaming in terms of how much streams you watched. But how do you feel, like, you know, and if you watched plenty or regularly, yeah, like what's like your opinion / your feelings on missing some or potentially all streams of a certain person you used to watch because you're the one streaming?
Yeah, that actually kind of happened to me with one of my friends. So one of my friends, his name is DJ Bit, DJ_Bit. Check him out on Twitch. But he streams music, and he always does I think like a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, like hard industrial, like goth set list. And so I was trying to tune in for that, but it's from like literally midnight until 3 a.m. So sometimes it's hard for me to make that because I'm old and I'm tired and I need my sleep. But he always had a stream that he would do Friday nights where he would like have like a theme, and like sometimes it was like 80s, and like recently because I didn't stream on Friday night, I was able to not only go to Chris's stream, and then when she ended, I was able to make his stream, and he was doing like a set list that was just that was primarily like Stevie Nicks and Madonna, and it was awesome. I had a good time. He doesn't keep his VODs, so obviously, because they're just gonna be fucking muted the whole time. But yeah, he does like DJing on a virtual space, and it's really cool. And I was able to actually catch that stream, and I made some requests, and he played them, and it was awesome. And I've been meaning to go back to his stream because he recently had a birthday, and I wanted to, you know, drop some subbies in there, you know, for him for his birthday. But I just kept missing it because he starts at 7:30, and I start at 7, so I'm already going by the time, you know, he starts. So I just kept missing his stream because of the time overlap, and it was nice. I was able to go back and, you know, show him some love. So
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. I used to / I still watch a lot of Twitch, but as I started streaming, I've definitely had to like branch out into more like EU friendly streams because most of the streamers I used to watch are like past midnight local time for me. But I go live at midnight, and by the time I end, they're just done. So it's like the people I used to watch, for the most part, I can't watch anymore, or not consistently. So it's rough in a sense.
yeah, I mean, just from when I, you know, was watching a lot of streamers and stuff before I started streaming myself, I definitely would watch streamers that had, you know, a pretty high watch count, you know, like they had a lot of like active users and stuff in chat. And then now since I started streaming, I find myself more drawn to smaller chats and smaller streamers just because like I don't know. It's like I enjoy talking more there and like getting to know more people and like hanging out and like vibing and stuff than like I care to actually watch like skill intensive gameplay anymore.
I feel you on that. For me, it's a little bit of both. If I want to be actively watching and like engaging with the community and chat and the streamer, I'll definitely watch someone that, you know, that's not a big streamer. But if I want like to watch passively, you know, just have something on in the background, maybe I'm, you know, browsing other tabs at the same time, and I'll just usually go to like a big stream because they always have something going on, right? They'll always be talking to somebody in chat or what have you, you know. So I definitely feel you on that. I prefer smaller streamers though, just because it's more cozy typically, you know, like you just kind of like chill, and if you want to engage, you engage, and if not, they're just
keep lurking.
Yeah, but in big chats, it's like the most you can engage with is emote spam, and then you're just a sea of chatters in the long run, you know.
Yeah, you're lucky if like they see what you wrote and they respond to it. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't really need that sometimes. Like I definitely hear you. Like typically, you know, I really like watching I like watching Angry Pug. Angry Pug is very entertaining because he gets hype. He gets hype a lot, especially when he's like lately he's been playing a lot of Fall Guys. And he also like he's pretty good at like Dead by Daylight, and so because I can't physically play that game myself because my heart rate, when it starts hearing the heart rate in the game, my heart rate's like, we need to do what the fuck that guy's doing, and then I'll start fucking racing, and then you know my anxiety's really high, and then all of a sudden my Fitbit tells me I'm in the fat burn zone, and I'm just sitting there at my desk playing a video game. So it's hard for me to play Dead by Daylight, excuse me. But you know, I like watching him stream it just because like he makes it so fun, and like he laughs about it, and he just kind of like whatever, but he also can be a little like kind of mean and toxic, but I think it's, you know, kind of funny sometimes. But I'll watch him a lot when I'm like kind of doing other stuff on the computer, but I want to have something open that I'm listening to and kind of like, you know, laughing and stuff like that. But like when I'm actually like on Twitch to be on Twitch and I'm like wanted to chit chat and stuff, I definitely hit the smaller streamers just because I don't know, I'm small too. And it's nice when you are small and the other person is small that you both are small together and you have nice small talk.
Yeah, and it's also, you know what it feels like, right? When like if you I don't think you have that issue anymore, but especially early on, and I have that issue as well. It's, I don't want to say demoralizing, but it's very difficult if chat is dead, right? The recent example of mine, I just chilled with some PoE, which is not part of my audience whatsoever. So I think for 2 hours, like no one said anything in chat, and it's part of it, right? It's part of streaming. It happens, but it's rough to keep a conversation going for 2 hours by yourself, basically. So when you go to smaller streamers, you kind of know, like, hey, I'm potentially making their day, or you know, their the time that they're streaming, just by engaging with them, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that feels good and stuff. And yeah, for me, it's just like I like to that note, like when I first started streaming, my whole like part of my whole shtick in my channel is that I like to stream like dating sims and otomes and visual novels and stuff, and I like chat to backseat. I like backseat gaming when it comes to chat. I think that it's funny, especially when it comes to a dating environment, because like they'll make me pick like the dumbest fucking option, and then I'm fucked, and that person never wants to be with me ever again.
Right.
But it's like funny to me, and it's fine. But yeah, when I first started streaming and stuff, there would be times where, you know, no one, I go to chat and say, hey, we're at a crossroads, like do you want to like buy Abernathy a cake, or do you want to buy him a cookie? And like no one in chat saying anything, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck me, I'm gonna fucking buy him a cake then.
Yeah, it's definitely so. Now you've grown since those perilous days. How do you handle backseating now? Like, is there a line, or does it get too much sometimes? Like, at what point are you gonna, assuming you get there, and I have full faith that you do, are you ever gonna like tone down the backseating or like cut it out altogether? Because it might just be too much at a certain point in terms of like too many people in chat.
I mean, provided that I had some sort of tool where that made it so that I wouldn't have to actually manually count the votes. Right now, sometimes small time, I'm able to kind of manually count the votes. And, it's not like a big deal where I can just count them and I know which one has the most and I go with that. But when I don't know, if it ends up happening where I end up having more people voting in chat and I'm not able to like manually count the votes, and like what if I accidentally said, oh, A won, but really like C did because I can't count my one unga bunga brain cell. I would have to implement some sort of tool that'll make it so that I'm gonna be able to like account for a plethora of rushing votes coming in.
You mean like the tool that I linked you like 3 weeks ago after we talked about it on the podcast? That very tool.
I still haven't implemented it because I've been really fucking busy. But I mean, yeah, basically I'll have to get something like that, and I still need to look at it and make sure that I can use it and all that good stuff. But yeah,
no, I feel you.
I don't think I'll turn down the backseat gaming. Like that's not actually like something that I think about. Like, oh, eventually I'll have to turn this off. Kind of. I still like it. Like I still think it's fun. There are times where I am playing a game and I don't want backseat gaming, and I just don't add the tag. Like when I play Monster Hunter, I don't fucking put backseat gaming allowed. Like, bitch, I don't want to fucking tell you. Like, I don't want you to fucking tell me what to do when I'm fighting a monster. You shut your whore mouth.
Yeah, I agree. Like some games, it just doesn't work on. I would say most action games, it just doesn't work on like across the board.
Exactly. Like when you were playing Devil May Cry, what if someone was just like, okay, but can you use this weapon instead? Like you're just like, no, dude. Like,
I mean, to be fair, I did get those people. They were like, like, not necessarily a weapon, but they're like, hey, you should get this skill. This skill is really good. I'm like, I don't like that skill. I tried it the last game. I hate it. I don't like it. I'm not getting it, and I never got it.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's weird to backseat like on a fucking action game. It makes sense to backseat on a visual novel just because the choices are literally there on screen. You can linger there and then be like, okay, do you want to do fucking A, B, or C kind of thing?
Yeah, like I would say I ride the fine line between suggestion and backseat gaming. I'm open to people like suggesting something like, hey, like have you looked at to keep using Devil May Cry, like, hey, have you looked at this skill? I found it very helpful. And then I can look at it, or just say like, I have looked at it, I don't like it, or stuff like that. But someone just comes in like, oh, you should do X, or like you're doing Y wrong, do X. So like, no, dude, fuck you. Like phrase it differently and I'll consider it. But ultimately, it's like it's my stream, my game, my choice kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because in dating sims, right? How do you handle if you're going for a specific route? Do you just still take votes and whatever happens, or does like chat behave and like help you get the route, or do you just like fuck it, no suggestions, we're going for this person, this route?
No, I still take suggestions. I still take votes and stuff like that. Typically when I do kind of outline like what direction I want to go, chat becomes somewhat supportive of what I want to do. You always get like the one off that wants to do like the trolley thing where, they're purposely trying to fuck you over. But most of the time, like when I say, yeah, chat, we're going to try to date this person, like they're like, all right, let's fucking date that person. Like they kind of rally behind the cause, I guess. And I don't know if that's just because like I've cultivated that over time, or they're just really hyped to just date all the people like I am, and that's totally cool. But yeah, it's just over time they just kind of, they're like, yeah, let's do that. And if not, if I'm getting trolled and stuff, usually someone with the points will do an override in my stream. For my channel points, I have an override, and that's basically if you redeem the override, then we go with whatever you said, no matter what the votes in stream are. and we only do one override per situation, so you can't override an override because then that's just shitty and makes that person lose all their fucking spell points, and it's just lame. So that's kind of how like we do it. And most of the time, you know, if I'm getting like pretty badly trolled, someone will usually come through for the override for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good. I also think it helps in your case that you're one of those dating sim degenerates that will date everybody.
Oh, hell yeah.
So chat knows, right? Like, even if you don't do their first choice right now, eventually you'll come around and they'll get to experience that route.
Oh, hell yeah. You got to fuck them all, man. It's like Pokemon. Just got to fuck everyone.
Not like Pokemon. Don't fuck all the Pokemon.
Like Pokemon. Do not actually fuck the Pokemon. That's fucked up. I'm judging you if you actually relate to that in anything other than a joking way.
Accurate. Yeah, we've both been playing a lot of Monster Hunter lately. I know you recently beat the story. How is it? Like, I guess, how does it compare to World? Does it feel like home? Is it better? Were your expectations met, exceeded? Tell me your story, your journey.
All right, let me dox my reasoning. So if you've listened to the previous if you've listened to the previous podcasts, then you know that I initially, when I first started playing Monster Hunter World, I was a bow main and I played bow. And then for Iceborne, I decided, you know what, Unga Bunga, we're gonna go Greatsword now. I'm now Unga Bunga, big damage, roll face, let's go. So I switched to Greatsword. Still working on it, obviously. Like, one does not simply become great at Greatsword like overnight, and also when you're in master rank and you're getting fucked on a lot. So it's like I get fucked on a lot, and that's fine, and I get it. But the storyline's great. I loved it. And to be fair, just the fucking gathering hub in Celiana is worth the money. 110%. That fucking gathering hub is the tits. The fucking anime episode, Hot Spring episode, dude. Like, that shit, like, sung to me as like a little nerdy kid, like little nerdy weeaboo. Like, I fucking loved the hot springs, the foot bath, the fact that you could interact with your Palico like in the water, like you can splash him, and then like, you know, like your Palico was like, fucking stop that, and you're just like, I'm gonna splash you. And then also you go and you put your foot in the bath, and then you can kind of like play with the feather and scritch under their little neck and all that other shit. Like, that shit alone, I'm just like, fucking worth the money right there. Iceborne God Gamer calculated.
I agree. I don't really use the gathering hub, but just the general central hub of Celiana is much better.
So good.
Mostly, so this kind of relates more to people who still play on consoles or who don't have an SSD. In base world, well, actually, to backtrack a little bit, once you set up your farm, you can apply a soil that extends the buff of all the current effects, and that lasts for 5 hunts, and then you have to reapply the soil. So typically, I and most people just forget about it, and then it just gets out of whack, and they need to like spend 4 hunts setting it up again. So the game was kind enough to provide us with our own Palico expedition team thingy, tail riders, which take 5 hunts to complete, and once they're back, they give you a notification. So what I do is I sync up my farm with the Palicos. That way, when they're back, I know it's time to resoil the farm. However, in base world, I even forgot the name, in not Celiana, Astera, there we go, Jesus.
Celiana, the other
woman. you have to go into your room to send out the tail riders, which triggers a loading screen, which is like a minute of loading, then you do tail riders, and then a minute of loading out. Celiana allows you to send out your tail riders like in the hub without a loading screen. So, you know, even though loading isn't bad with an SSD, it's just so much nicer to not have to do any of that, and it's all just in one central area. Like, the workshop isn't, you know, like an elevator ride up or anything like that, and the canteen isn't on the other side of the workshop. It's all just very central and very nice, and it feels like they really listen to all the complaints about Astera, and that's great.
Yeah, I agree, and I love the layout, and also like the Steamworks is fun, Scoop. Steamworks is cute. It's a fun time.
I mean, it's nice, especially during events because you get all these melding tickets. But other than that, it's just a very good way to get all your potions, trank bombs, regular bombs, armor spheres. It's just free shit. And yeah, it's just nice. It's just a nice little bonus. And once a week, you get your celestial print for that free gym. And yeah, it's easy money, easy life, basically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's easy money, easy life. And, I don't know. I think the cats are cute. Little cats. Love those little guys.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's just, you haven't really done it yet, like, because you're still low on fuel. But at a certain point, you'll have like 10, 20, 30K fuel. And you don't really want to do Steamworks for like an hour straight. So that's kind of the issue that you eventually run into.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really have that issue right now. But I love that your boy Zenogra's back. Your boy.
I was actually about to ask. I mean, obviously spoilers, but do you have a favorite monster to fight as a greatsword? Like who stands out to you? Not like aesthetically or anything like that, but it just felt really good with a greatsword.
I can just tell you who doesn't feel good.
I mean, a lot of them don't feel good, but go on.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't have like a monster that I like love to fight with a greatsword, but I can tell you the monsters that I don't fucking like to fight with a greatsword, and that's fucking Shrieking Legiana. Sucked. That fucking sucked. That was the absence of God. And trying to think. Definitely Shrinking Legiana, and like everything else was kind of manageable. That was the only one that like I think back on that fight and I hear like the Kill Bill sirens, and like the camera zooms in dramatically into my eyes and like they snap wide with like the horror of my previous transcended soul like snapping back into the body that I currently have now, like reminded of all the agony and pain that they experienced over a lifetime. That was that fight for me.
I can definitely feel that. And I guess maybe a different question, since you have played some of the older Monster Hunters. Obviously, I assume you're excited about most of the monsters coming back. Like, everybody that came back, you're probably excited about most of them. Are there any you find like better in World to fight or worse? To kind of explain what I mean, the Ogre to me has always been a great fight. Like, he's just great to fight. And I used to love fighting Brachydios in like Try and stuff. I'm really bad at him in World. And I don't know if I just haven't found the right weapon to fight him with in World yet, but I'm just very bad at him. So for me, him being ported to Monster Hunter World, I don't know, they changed something, obviously, because the system is different, the combat system and stuff. Though it's still the same core. But to me, I don't know, he's just unmanageable, and every fight I do against him is a struggle to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel that way about Bracky when we did our hunt together. Like I was like, okay, this is fine, kind of thing. And I do really like Bracky, and I've always liked Bracky, for the most part, from the previous iteration of the game. I have not fought Zenogra in World, so I can't comment on that. Not yet. I mean, we're getting there. So I can't really comment on that. But my guess is that I'll love it just because I just fucking love Zenogra. Zenogra's just such a fucking aesthetic motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's great design-wise, but he was just always comfy to fight. Even with Hammer, even when his head is pretty high, he's still very comfy. And I don't know, like he has very telegraphed attacks, and it just feels really good to just dart around just right, and then punish him.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking forward to finally getting to fight him in World. I think it's gonna be a good ass fucking time, Scoob, for me at least. Even if I'm getting my fucking asshole prolapsed and turned inside out and tied into a little balloon knot, like I'll still have a good time because it's Zenogra. Yeah,
like Zenogra's always been great. I loved him since probably the very first time I fought him, just because his aesthetic is great, and then it's just a very tight fight. I feel. It's very similar, even though I guess a lot of people won't probably feel the same way. Maybe it's just me, but mentally it's the same as like fighting like a Rathalos or a Rathian. If that makes any sense. In the sense, Obviously, their movesets are completely different, but they also have very telegraphed attacks. And in Try, when monsters moved a lot slower, when they like turned like 90 degrees at a time, it was definitely against Rathalos and stuff. It was definitely a lot of cases of pre-charging your hammer because they're going to turn to you in like 2 seconds, and they're going to. So like that was those fights. I mean, back in Try, because that was my first one. The first wall was Barrett, because he was just difficult until you get good. But when the game really started clicking for me was around Raffi and Rathalos. That's when I started getting better at the game, and it made sense. Like all the puzzle pieces were kind of coming together, and you could visibly see the improvement. And I feel Zenorga like kind of fits into that same style.
Yeah, just you can like mind game them, so you kind of like it.
Yeah, it just fits that style. At least for hammer. Like I can't judge for other weapons, but that's how it's been in Try. That's how it is in World. So like Zenorga has just always felt good. While Bracky for me has been a hit and or miss. But maybe I just haven't found the right weapon for him yet. Back then I just used longsword, but it's not comfy anymore. I don't know. No.
I mean, we're gonna have a lot of fun then farming up my Raging Bracky armor.
I mean, I still need to farm him anyway, so it's just kind of a bullet I have to bite through, even though I don't like it. I went back, and so the first few times that I did him, Raging Bracky specifically, I first did Gunlands, and it felt really meh. Like it really didn't feel like I was contributing much, and I just felt bad. And then I switched to like range. Like I tried heavy bowgun, like spread and piercing, and that felt even worse. So, and then I did like longsword, and that felt decent, but not really. And then I like tried hammer, and that felt god awful. And then I went back to Gunlands and actually turned on DPS meters, and I wasn't doing that badly. It just felt bad, I guess. But damage wise, I was definitely keeping up. So I think it's just a mind frame kind of thing. But I definitely need to try more weapons on him to see one that I think Lance is the way to go, honestly. But I don't have a Lance set yet.
Yeah, man, you just gotta go running in the 90s and shoot across the map.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the main issue, I guess, is that he's very aggressive, and sometimes when he has an opening, he'll still like drop slime, so you either have to dodge and stop attacking or whatnot. But with a lance, you can just walk through it and keep attacking. So like I think that might be like the key to a fight that feels good, hopefully.
All right, well, you fucking heard it first. Nifty Cauldron, fucking listeners, the boy's gonna make a lance.
I mean, the boy makes a lot of things. I just like playing different weapons. It's fun. It brings me great joy. Basically.
I mean, that's a good feeling, but I mean, do you feel now that since you're kind of going around and you're making all these different like sets and stuff like that, do you feel ready for Fatalis? And if so, what weapon are you planning on using? Or do you think that Fatalis is just going to prolapse you?
I don't feel ready yet because I know I'm not. I still have a lot of sets to make. Like they're all kind of like mostly in my wish list kind of deal. I also still have to properly face Elatrion or Elatrion if someone has issues with the pronunciation, but suck it. And maybe do some Safi sieges to get his armor and maybe some weapons. So for me, there's still a lot of prep to do. And I plan to do most of it this weekend. So by the time the podcast comes up, I should hopefully be done with most of it and kind of just like use next Monday to kind of like maybe finish up some things and do some final prep. And then based on Wednesday, I don't think I'm gonna beat him first try. So I still expect a few failed hunts. I don't think he'll be soloable for a while. Like I don't think I can just jump into him solo. Because I'm not God gamer, speedrunner that can do that shit. But I think it'll be a very fun fight. I think it'll be a very challenging fight where it's basically you have to get good or you can't beat him. And I like overcoming like little walls like that, you know?
I gotcha.
So Monster Hunter isn't really like your, I guess, your audience's game, I would say, right? Because I would say most of the follows and stuff you have are there for your dating stuff, dating sims and stuff. How has that been like, you know, at the stream? Like, do you get a lot of people asking you questions, giving you build suggestions, or is it just people kind of just enjoying you going unga bunga on monsters?
So it's kind of a mixed bag. Most of the people that are there, like because they enjoyed my kind of dating sim content, they are more or less just kind of just to be in chat and talk and hang out and stuff like that. They aren't necessarily too involved with Monster Hunter, so they're just kind of, like chilling. But then I had a fair amount of people watch me play Monster Hunter, and then they went and they bought the game, and then they started playing because they were like, "This looks fucking fun," and they were there from like my dating sim streams. So, like I said, kind of a mixed bag. And then I do up until basically fairly recently, like literally yesterday, I didn't have too many people coming to my stream and like offering me suggestions for the most part when it came to Monster Hunter, just because a lot of the people from there were, from my dating sims, and they didn't really know about it, or they just bought the game and so they got into it and stuff like that. So they didn't really have too many suggestions. But up until like literally yesterday, then I started getting people in my stream that kind of had suggestions on like what to build and what to do, for this and that, and things that'll help me out. And like, I'm grateful because, I'm a brand new little baby greatsword player, and I need lots of help. So I didn't quite mind at all.
I get that. Maybe a personal question. I know, I know, because how you feel about it, because I'm the same type of way. Failing is bad, right? It doesn't matter to what degree we fail. It's just always, we're trash. Why am I alive? I don't deserve to live kind of mindset. How do you deal with that when like you just switched to greatsword, like when you were just like small baby, how do I unga bunga, I don't know anything, help? Like was that an issue for you, or something you had to overcome, or how did you deal with that aspect, if you had to deal with it at all?
Yeah. So for me, honestly, I didn't fail a hunt until Volcana. Like, Volcana was the one where it was like, you failed, and not only did I fail, but I failed pretty badly and miserably and on stream. So, that shook my confidence pretty bad, and I was just like, well, better just uninstall the game and throw myself out the window. Yeet, kind of thing. But last night when you and I were playing, right? I didn't like, I knew that I was carding. I knew I wasn't necessarily playing very well, but I was just kind of like, haha, I'm playing like shit. And I was like, fine. But it was weird. I guess the first cut is the fucking deepest. That one fucking, when I fucked up on Volcana and I like looked into my own fucking sorrow-filled eyes, like that fucked me up. But like yesterday I was just like carting left and right, and I'm just like, I tried though, kind of thing. I don't know. It was fucking weird. Maybe I was just I was in a bad spot or something. But yesterday I was just kind of like, it happens.
Could be, but it's definitely just part of the process, right? Like Fatalis, I expect to cart a numerous amount of times before finally getting him, and people might judge me for it. It might bully me for it, because that is what they do in my stream. No praise allowed, only bully streamer. Even though I kind of cultivated that, don't get me wrong. Like, don't praise me, that's weird, I'm not good, stop. Like, honestly, it just circles back to, I don't know how to take a compliment, and I've never known how to take a compliment. Part of it is just anxiety and like mental issues that I don't want to get too deeply into, but a compliment just feels weird to me because I judge myself too harshly. That's just the truth. So compliment is like always wrong and undeserved, but I can take criticism and like bullying and jabs like a fucking pro. So just like stick to that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
call me trash, senpai.
It's basically like the dog that's like no take, only throw.
Yes.
But like, No compliment. Only flame.
Yeah. Only bully.
Only bully. Only bully me. I mean, I don't think I get very many compliments on my great sword fucking skills just because they're not really up to snuff just quite yet. I would even say so myself. However, I definitely like when it comes to when I think about my makeup. And when people compliment my makeup, they're like, "Oh, I love your makeup." Like there are days where I'm just like, "Thanks, I absolutely hate it and it's trash and I should die." Kind of thing. When I don't need to be feeling that kind of fucking way because it's like at the end of the day, it's probably fine, but the perfectionist in me like craves death. So I definitely feel you on that. And like when people compliment my makeup, I'm always like, "Oh, thank you." And I had to literally teach myself to just take the compliment and thank them, then to deflect. Because that was like my number one thing that I used to do. Like they'd be like, "Oh, I love your eyeliner." But like, "Thanks, I actually messed up in this corner right over here." And I would point it out. And it's just like, I realized that, just like, I mean, this might be a thing because I work in personal development now. I realized that like I didn't really need to be doing that because if anything, I'm pointing the flaws out to myself to make myself feel worse. And it's like if somebody doesn't notice that and they just want to like praise me for the things that I do, like just say thank you, even if you don't feel it. Even if you don't feel it, the fact that that person thought to say something kind to you is enough for a thanks.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I've gotten a lot better with personal compliments because I was exactly like you. I wouldn't only deflect, I would probably add on to it. They'll be like, "Oh, you know, you look great in that shirt." Like I'll be like, "No, I don't." Like I wouldn't even say thank you initially. I would just instantly contradict them because they were wrong. I don't look great in that shirt, and etc. etc. And that eventually, that transformed into like, thanks. I don't think so, but thanks. And then now, for the most part, I just say thank you and like internally scold myself. Like that's like the last process of acceptance, I should say. But it's definitely if someone goes out of their way to say something nice, just say thank you, regardless of how you feel about it. And that's that. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to point out your flaws. You don't need to agree.
Exactly.
Just thank you.
You don't have to dox your secret hurt or your insides, man. You just gotta just be like, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah.
Maybe give him a compliment back. Like your hair's looking fucking good too, dude. Hell yeah, kind of thing. And that's like kind of like where I've tried to like resonate with on a certain level now. But no, I totally get that. It's really fucking hard for me sometimes, especially when it comes to like something that I'm very like perfectionist about, and like when my makeup doesn't look good and I like hate the look, then I'm just like, well, now I'm on camera for 4 hours hating what I look like. Poggers.
And then, especially if you have like self-esteem issues or, insecurities, when someone compliments you, part of your brain is also just like, they're lying. They're just saying this to make me feel better, but they don't believe this at all kind of deal. So it's just like a never ending spiral downwards that really you create for yourself, right? So it's difficult to overcome, but number one tip to just start, for people who struggle with this, who can like resonate with what we're saying, just try saying thank you, and that's it. Like you don't have to believe it. You don't have to, you can have those fears and insecurities, but just step one is just saying thank you and not like deflecting or disagreeing with their compliment.
Yeah, that's knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Yeah, even though I never watched G.I. Joe, but everybody knows that catchphrase.
You should. If you don't know that fucking catchphrase, like fucking dox yourself in the comments below so I can flame you.
Damn. She coming for everybody. I mean, potentially. But yeah, so to circle back a tiny bit, because we kind of went a little bit deep and dark real quick.
Yeah, we did.
that escalated from 0 to 100.
Exactly. That's like, oh, that's cool and all, but have you ever faced your fucking demons, kid?
Yeah. It's like Fatalis is cool, but how do you feel about yourself, and like how harshly do you judge yourself? Tell me, to circle back, to throw the question back about Fatalis. How ready do you feel, or how ready do you think you're going to be? Like, are you going to be able to fight him on Wednesday, you think?
Bitch, no. I definitely need to do way more fucking playing. I need to do way more fucking playing. I need to get way more good. Like, I definitely need to step my fucking pussy up before I think I can hang out with the fucking ultimate right there. So no, nah, dog, I'm not fucking ready. I definitely need to pepper my Angus like way more.
Yeah, I mean that goes for everybody. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's the last fight, and he's probably going to be the best armor for everybody, like every weapon. But people are speculating, and I'm kind of in the same boat. This is going to be like a little bit of Monster Hunter jargon, but bear with us here. That his armor set will unlock all other secret skills in the game. You know, I have like free meal secret, slugger secret, stuff like that allows it to go beyond normal cap and just like give you a shit ton of decoration slots, and then you can just make whatever you want with that set, kind of deal. That's what I expect it to be, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, this is the end.
Yeah,
like they basically were like, no, we're not going to be releasing any more content for Monster Hunter World. Sorry, Scoob, bye. So at this point, like, we done, and like, so this is the end game. Like, this is the end game. So at this point, I don't know. Like, it'd be weird if like Fatalis wasn't the best armor and stuff like that, and had all the like secret shit going on with it. But at the same time, like, I'm sad because it's over. Like, I feel like it's like an old friend, like saying goodbye, and you probably won't ever see them again.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like that as well, because you put in so many hours, right? And compared to, you know, most Monster Hunter veterans, it's still rookie hours. Like, you know, the couple hundred, like that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, it's weird because, you know, while Monster Hunter Rise looks great, it's still like a little bit of hesitation from my side because it's a Switch game. Like, I have no hate against the Switch, but I'm even concerned if it's going to run at 60 FPS, for example. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Yeah.
in like an online lobby, and everybody has like a pet, and it's like eight people plus the monster on the map, and like I expect that PowerPoint slideshow to just show up. You know?
Yeah. No, definitely. And the controllers too. Like, the controllers are very prone to breaking and having drift problems. And it's like, if you fucking have that in Monster Hunter, that's the difference between like karting and not karting. So, like, I feel like I'm gonna have to just preemptively buy some extra fucking controllers just in case like I fucking break them or something like that. Or, you know, obviously you should be playing on a pro controller because only god gamers do that. And you want to be a god gamer, don't you? So get yourself a fucking pro controller. If you don't fucking have one, fucking do it now, because you're not gonna want to fucking play Monster Hunter playing with the dinky ass motherfucking Switch controller. You're gonna be breaking that shit. You're gonna fucking have carpal tunnel because of the fucking claw. You remember the claw? The claw is gonna come back. You're gonna have fucking carpal tunnel. Your whole arm's gonna fall off. It's gonna be terrible. So get a fucking pro controller if you don't fucking have one right now, scrub.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that most people who, you know, who are gonna get Monster Hunter Rise do have a pro controller, or would even buy a Switch specifically to play Monster Hunter. You know, for the people that are gonna buy a Switch, don't do it yet. This is there are still rumors going around that they're gonna announce a new Switch that's probably gonna be bundled with the new Monster Hunter. So wait at the very least until like the December holidays when the Switches will go on a discount. But ideally wait until the announcement, because you might want to get the newest one, right? To be able to optimally play.
Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah. And also, like, I mean, if it's gonna be anything like, you know, the PS4 Monster Hunter version, like, it's gonna be beautiful.
It won't be, unfortunately. So
damn, no!
I mean, you've seen the trailer. Don't pretend like it's. Or do you mean the console itself?
The console itself.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Like, I thought you meant like
console. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, in my mind, you said the PS4 Monster Hunter, so I went to World. Like, it doesn't look anything like World. It's Monster Hunter Rise is not beautiful, you know?
No. I meant the actual like console design, like and how like they incorporated the different shit on it. Like I feel
Yeah,
like they'll do a
yeah.
good job of that, especially because like you go and you look at the fucking Animal Crossing Switch, and that shit was banger. Like they did a really good job on that. It was hella cute. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they're gonna do a good job if they do a Switch version of fucking Monster Hunter. It's gonna look beautiful, Scoob. So you might as well fucking wait if you don't have one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll do that for the Switch itself, but they might just have like a Monster Hunter package, like the Switch Pro with Monster Hunter for like, I don't know, $300, 350 or whatever the price of a Switch is right now.
All right, well, you know what, deadass Nintendo, I'm calling you the fuck out right now. If you don't fucking release a Monster Hunter like fucking branded Switch, you big dumb.
They will be missing out on money for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, because the way Monster Hunter development teams worked, I don't know if it's still the same way since World shook up Monster Hunter with its sales. But typically, how it's always been, there's always a mainline Monster Hunter. So like World, Try, basically everything that comes out for a console is mainline Monster Hunter, like the PS2, etc., etc. And then there's Team B, the secondary team, which focuses on the handheld side, so all the DS games and the Switch ports and stuff like that. Monster Hunter Rise looks very handheld like, like in terms of the art style and stuff like that, which obviously because the DS and the 3DS has been discontinued, like it doesn't exist anymore. The Switch is kind of has replaced that. So I'm wondering how much crossover there has been between the two teams, if any at all. The other main difference is the handheld side of things. They usually go for more out there ideas. Like I think that's the team that first introduced like mounting a monster, for example. But they're also always the ones that make like those crazy weapons, like chicken legs and fucking flags and you name it, they probably made a weapon out of it. So they're always like the ones trying crazier stuff, because at the end of the day, a portable Monster Hunter needs to sell more to like break even or even make a profit. So they can just experiment, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't stick, oh well, we tried, kind of deal. And
yeah,
what that meant for like the development cycle was that they would kind of alternate, like mainline this year, and that would get an ultimate edition next year, and then either the second year or the third year they would have like the portable version to kind of like bridge the gap, and then mainline would come out again. So like based on that kind of logic, if Monster Hunter Rise is purely made by the handheld team, we should have a new mainline Monster Hunter like 2022, late 2022, probably maybe like early 2023. So that's the one I'm low-key hyped about, like a PS5, Xbox One, PC Monster Hunter. Like, are you kidding? That's gonna be big nut.
Big nut. The biggest of nut. Nut everlasting.
Basically. But yeah, I think we've been talking about Monster Hunter a lot.
Yeah.
We're slowly etching into a Monster Hunter podcast, which I am okay with, but I know it can't last forever. We're just on this hype train of Fatalis and just getting back into it. But I think our time is just about up, isn't it?
All right. So that's going to be it for us. Tune in next week for Nifty Cauldron Part 7. Don't forget to like, subscribe,
comment,
fucking follow us on Twitch or something like that. Comment, let us know how you fucking feel, all that good shit. But that's going to be us. We're going to be signing off. Again, this is Kelly and my co-host,
Milan.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Take care.
Later.